Hello and welcome to Take This TV, the television book club podcast where each week we watch an episode or two of our favorite shows and we talk about them with our friends in the fandom. I'm Carmen and I'm joined as always by the amazing Kimberly Woods. Hello.
Hello, hot potatoes.
This season we are watching Dark Matter.
And today we're on episode 5. It's called WorldLess. And the official Apple description is, as they learn more about the box, Jason and Amanda see alternate versions of their lives. Jason, too, begins training a potential investor.
If you haven't seen the episode yet, go back and watch it and then come back because there will be spoilers.
Woo! So this was a fun one. It was a little bit all over the place. Box going everywhere. Video game feeling. Whirlwind of an episode.
What did you think of Jason and Amanda like seeing these different versions of themselves?
Oh my god.
Or their lives, I guess I should say.
I love it. I also wonder like how long we're going to be in the box ride, because it's like, okay, we have to give the characters enough time to really try to figure this out and make it feel like a challenge, because the box is a hard thing. Evil Jason, spent a lot of time trying it and mastered it, and new, innocent Jason is just learning. But it was really funny because last episode we were like, okay, they know how it works. They figured it out. Their thoughts are connected to it. But so many times in this episode, it was just like, I don't know, let's just go. No, we're going to go. It's like, okay, what is happening? Like,
yes.
Calm your thoughts. Gosh. Like, channel. Like, what's going on here?
I couldn't, man. Like you said, last episode, they kind of came to the conclusion that their emotions and their thoughts are tied to where they go. And then there was that moment where Jason was talking about his son who passed away and then the ritual that they do. And like you mentioned last time, that would have been a perfect moment to go. And so many times in this episode, they get distracted by other things happening. And I'm like, Jason, you don't want to go home. Cause he's like, oh, well, we have to go and see my house first. I have to make sure that this isn't the right world or whatever. And then Amanda's like going to like lie to her grandma and like tell her grandma like, I'm in a better place even though I'm dead in your world, but I'm gonna steal your car. Like what? Like I was definitely in my head just screaming, get back into the box. Even out loud with that part when like the doctor, the military doctor tells him not to touch Daniela, who's sick. And like she's like handing him the syringe and he reaches for it. I'm like, no. So
and we were just talking about like how much that scene in particular felt like a video game too, because it's like, okay, are you going to choose to just leave right now, or are you going to take these supplies to your other wife and help her die? It's just like, okay, there he goes. But we were both like flinching during that episode because it was like, okay, this is basically, I mean, this wasn't an airborne thing, but still, after COVID, it was like, oh my god, what are you doing? Don't touch her, like, you have no gloves on, you're not even going to put the stuff on to, like, do this, like, in the end, it was a sweet gesture, like, what he ended up doing for her, and what Amanda did, when she was dead in that universe, too, but it was interesting that they both faced the same kind of things, like, they both were supposed to have already died in their particular universes, and got to have that option of like, but I choose the comfort option now versus just fleeing immediately.
Yeah. Would you have stayed to like comfort them or give them the medicine?
I think so. But if I was in Jason's position where it was like fluids, I would have definitely put on the protection.
Yeah.
Like, to the max to do it, probably.
In a full hazmat suit, like, it's me, I swear.
Or at a distance, I'm leaving this for you,
Throw it in the door.
Love you, bye.
Love you, mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think, like, it would be hard it's like seeing your loved ones and, like, your whole life fall apart over and over and over again. But at the same time, I just think that, like, when they first left the evil Jason's world, there was, like, this urgency of, like, oh, my gosh, he's stealing my life. I have to get back. Yeah. And now it's kind of like, oh, yeah, well, it's like leisurely adventure together.
Yeah.
And so I am curious what's going to happen, or if they're even ever going to get back to Family Jason's world. Evil Jason, like you said, is mastered traveling between the different worlds.
Yeah.
And because he goes to get additional vials of whatever the...
For those bucks. For those $1 million.
$1 million for vial, yeah. Because Layton's an addict. But I feel like Evil Jason was setting him up. But the scientist, doctor person let Evil Jason know that, like, there was another version of himself that's out there. And so he's going to seal up the box. Which, like, I have a lot of questions about the box.
The box.
I feel like if they're going... Is the box... In the worlds where Jason isn't a scientist, is there a box that's already there? Or is it like the TARDIS in Doctor Who, where if they open the door to that world and the box shows up, does the box stay there after they leave? Could somebody else discover the box? Like, I have lots of questions. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, doesn't it feel like it's just, like, staying? Like, who wasn't even in the ice world? I mean, I guess they were still technically... No, because this is the question that I had, too, is like, okay, once it wears off and they've gone through in the liminal space, then I guess they just wake up in whatever world they are, and the box is somehow there. Or they can pass out in the box, right, itself, and it wears off. Or they pass out in liminal space without having gone through a door, wake up in the box, and then...
Yeah, so like
universe.
when they take the drug, they can go to the liminal space, and they can choose like where they want to go by opening a door based on their emotions, or they can just like stay still, and when the drugs wear off, it's kind of like randomly the box will pick a place for them based on their emotions.
Yeah.
So I feel like we've seen them be able to open multiple doors because they've used the liminal space when they're using the drugs, and then this episode we kind of saw what happens if they let the drugs naturally wear off and it randomly picks.
But in that instance where it was the ice world, it stayed there still. So I don't know if there was a Jason who was a scientist or whatever. We don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
But it seems like that box stayed.
Well, like Layton asks Evil Jason this episode, what happens if I'm outside of the box? And Evil Jason explains that like if you're outside of the box will remain there until you come back. So I think in that way it's kind of like the TARDIS of like whoever the traveler is that arrives with the box will remain there. Mm-hmm.
They might have to bury it out from some snow or find it.
Yeah,
you know,
wherever it shows up, that's where it's gonna stay. So whatever happens to it, it'll still be there, just covered up.
I also think it's funny because I feel like some of this like finding out how the box works is also an opportunity for Amanda and good Jason to like get closer and to have the like will they won't they. We had the shirts coming off in the liminal space.
Hey.
So I like that the show is like trying to build that tension too, because he has the family he wants to get back to, but obviously like evil Jason and this woman had some sort of connection, and for all that we've seen so far, Amanda seems like a great person. So, you know. Yeah,
I was skeptical about her at first, but I mean, at this point, I feel like it'd be a long time to keep a ruse up if she was secretly evil. So, I think she is good. I think she just was misguided in her feelings for Jason. Or I guess she didn't know because she was surprised that he could. Once they met Blair again, she was surprised that Jason would put somebody through this and do that. So
Blair, you're homeless. You're worldless. Telling Amanda, I was like, whoa.
Like, relax, Blair. Why?
Blair, who's like brought in some hornets or something into this current world. It's like, what in the world?
Yeah,
like,
so like
another version of Blair that's been traveling all over. Like, she was the first traveler, so of course she's probably going to have a hard time figuring out how this thing works.
Yeah. Oh, we were also saying, like, when they travel through the box to different worlds or whatever, they're probably creating so many other variants. And so there's probably like an infinite number of them out there in all these different worlds, making all these different changes to these other universes.
But also we're trying to figure out how did those hornet things get into the box?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, did they come in through with another world and like get it? I don't know. It's wild. How did that even happen in the first place? Also, can I just say, like, what a fun one-shot this would be to, like, play a game where you're, like, traveling around in the box and you end up in different worlds. And also it reminds me of, like, teleportation in D&D, where you're, like... I've had some teleportation mishaps as a bard casting it, and I got stuck in, like, a liminal space one time and almost died, so, yeah, it reminds me of, like, rolling, like, percentile dice and being like, where are we gonna end up?
So what you're saying is we need a dark matter D&D module, or a Doctor Who one, which would be also really awesome.
And I want Amanda. We need the psychologist there to, like, calm everybody down and help everybody focus in.
Man, she's coming in clutch this time around, especially asking Jason, like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do that? I love when, like, they think that they're in Jason's universe. And she's like, what are you going to do if evil Jason is in there? And he doesn't say anything. And I feel like it's because he knows he's going to catch the hands if he runs into evil Jason. Like, what's he going to do? Like,
and what about the horror knife? It's just like, what genre are we in now? We're going to pick up this butcher knife. Here we go. Going up the steps.
I'm going to get you. Yeah, when he did that, I was like, it's definitely not the right universe when he did that.
And what did he do? In that universe, Jason was in prison for something horrible. His son was like, get out of here. His wife was calling the cops. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
What happened?
He must have did something really bad. We don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it was with velocity? I don't know.
Don't know.
It's interesting.
I'm excited to find out what happens next, though.
Me too.
Yeah, I really like the show.
Thank you so much for watching. We're at Take This TV on Instagram and TikTok. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember to leave us a review, tell us your thoughts and what you're looking forward to. And remember, it's dangerous to watch TV alone.